Okay, welcome. It's our time to have our chat, our weekly chat with Rubel and Teresa, myself here. And we've got a great topic today that we're going to discuss and we're going to chat about throughout the next half hour on how successful people solve problems. And we're going to look at how does a successful person solve a problem versus someone who might be struggling and not understanding why they can't get the success they want in their life, and then learn from what successful people do in order to actually really elevate where they're at and move into 2021 with better strategies.
Yeah, and you said you have tea with you. I have water with me. This is how we solve our problem of having some drinks while we are on. while we are live. Yeah. Okay. This is great to be with you, Teresa, as always.
And it's great to be with you too, Rubel. So I'm going to start off with asking you, Rubel, who has many wonderful ways of helping businesses and people. How would you say a successful person solves a problem?
Okay, so let me define who's a successful person in my opinion. So this will clarify who's a successful person. How does he solve the problem? So he or she solve the problem. For my definition of successful person, it's a very technical definition. Is a person who is successful. That it's as simple as that. Because we collectively have like so many conditions of success. So you need to make $1 million, you need to have certain things, you need to have a car, you need to have this, you need to have the best relationship, the best health, best whatever. Then at one point when you're 87 or 97 years old, you become successful. That is the biggest myth that humans have. I have worked with Silicon Valley entrepreneurs. I have worked with directors who won Emmys, and I have worked with successful business people from all over the world. One thing a lot of supposedly successful people have is that they think that they are still not successful. No matter what they do, no matter how much money they make, no matter how successful they are in relationship, how much health they have, they always find another way, another level that they could reach that finally put them in successful. You know what happens there? What happens there is you live your entire life thinking that you are a slave to success. You live your entire life as a slave to your psychology, your mind, and then at the end of your life, one would die not knowing that they are not successful. So the first step is to become successful. The first step of becoming successful is to believe just because you are alive right now, especially during COVID and all kind of uncertainties, just by knowing that you are alive, then you are successful. So that is the definition of a successful person. So I wanted to start there.
That's good. That's really good. And so we're all successful for the fact that we're here, and we are doing our best, and so based on whatever the definition of successful is for you out there, you are successful right now. It's just that we want to look at how do people who actually believe they're successful, because it's around a lot of beliefs around success, people who actually believe they're successful, how do they solve their problems?
Yeah, so that's where we are getting into. So the first frame is be successful. And if you have a question about like my weird simple definition of success, we could discuss that as if that means that I don't need to do anything, you just need to sit around and then I'm successful. I'll explain. If you have a question like that, post that in the comment. I'll explain what I mean by that and why is it really important for you to see that way. But once you feel that you're successful, then you have a story about your life. When you look at your business, when you look at your life, when you look at your relationship, you have a story. You have a story about victory. So people who are successful, before they try to solve any problem, they think about a success they had in their past. So when they will I'm looking back because my past feels like it's in my back. For some of you guys, the past could be in the front or or on a corner diagonally on the roof or ceiling, wherever. But if you feel like your past, before you think about solving any problem, the first step is look back into your life and find somewhere you are already successful. You are already successful in that place. And then you would use that frame and then come and look at the problem and find the intelligence. Whenever there is a problem, there is an intelligence for it. Oftentimes we are trying to avoid the problem, and we will go deeper into each of these steps. But you look into the intelligence of the problem, because the problem has its own intelligence. There is a reason why it's a problem, because there is an intelligence. There is a lesson that oftentimes there is a lesson that universe, God wants us to learn from this problem. So you look for that intelligence in that problem. You look for that specifically and say, what can I learn from this thing? What is really important about this? And then what you do is you try to focus on a solution. You spend enough time on the problem to pick up the intelligence, and then you focus 80% of time on solution. It is not 100% of the time on solution, because some people are like, oh, let's be positive, let's think positive, let's not look at the problem at all. Then the problem keep on happening again and again. So there is enough time, 20% time spent on problem to understand the intelligence of the problem, so that you have a grasp of it, and then you can make sure that it doesn't repeat again. Because oftentimes our problems are same problems with different colors. So imagine our problem is like imagine cookie is our problem, and then it has sugar is a problem, and next time the problem is not cookie, it's a donut, but fundamentally it has sugar. And then the third time it's chocolate. So basically we are converting from one shape to another shape. Fundamental problem doesn't change. That's why you look for intelligence of the problem. And once you look for the intelligence, you find a solution and move on. You don't focus on the problem anymore. So that's the formula. We could expand on it.
Wow, that's a great formula. One of the things I was going to just reflect on with regards to success, going back to the successful person, one of the things that I've learned is that if you want to be successful, however that is defined, then when you set a goal for a particular, let's just say you set a goal each day to, if you're in a business, let's say a sales business where you make calls each day to potential customers, and you've been feeling like you're not succeeding, you feel like you're failing in this area, you're not making the calls, you're not getting the connections, and so you feel like you're failing in this particular area, you're not being successful, and you've got a problem, and you don't know how to deal with this problem. How am I going to win with this, because I can't reach anyone, people aren't interested, and so forth. One of the things I always suggest is that set yourself up to win every single day. And how do you set yourself up to win? You set yourself up to win that no matter what happens, that whatever it is that you set yourself up to win with, you will not fail. So let's say the calls, if you're in sales, rather than saying, oh, I've got to just make 10, 15, 20 calls. No, that number is potentially setting you up to not win. So what if you made 5 calls a day and made 1 connection? If that's what would have you feel like you've won something, then set yourself up to win every day with the goal that you cannot lose on. No matter what shows up, you will make it happen, because anything beyond that then becomes a greater success and you feel even better. It's when we set ourselves up so like with these big outcomes every day that we expect of ourselves, which is great. However, when you don't reach it, then there's that opportunity to feel like you let yourself down, that you didn't make it. So if you set yourself up to win every day, anything beyond that you do is a bonus. So that's just something I want to add in there around success and how someone can set themselves up for success each day.
Absolutely. So see what you did there, Teresa, and then anyone who's listening. This is really important, because right now we are really good at failing. What we are really good at, that's what we are going to do more of. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking generally for people, right? So if you're listening, look at it. We set ourselves for failure by letting us down every day. We gain weight. We gain like 30, 40 pounds of weight over 10 years. And then when we are trying to lose it, we want to lose it in like 3 days. Right? And somebody take advantage of that. And somebody's like, okay, lose 20 pounds in like 1 day. And like, how do you do that? You just cut your leg off, and all of a sudden you could lose 20 pounds in like 1 day. I mean, so when we are failing, we have clear cut strategy for failure. So we don't have, oftentimes humans, we don't have clear cut strategy for success. Like, pay attention to that. This is a really, really powerful stuff. Usually you might go to some like personal development guru and end up spending like thousands and thousands of dollars to figure out this exact same thing. So you could actually learn that even without spending money, which is you need to have a clear definition for winning. That's what Teresa did there. Like, if you don't know, Teresa is one of the very successful business coaches in the world. She helps organizations like Tony Robbins and people like that to, like, through that she's coaching businesses to grow, right? So she's a business coach. So like what she did there, and I would like to hear from you, Teresa, in a second too, is that you set yourself a goal. Like, you would contact 5 people. From that, you will make connection with one person, which is not difficult. So at that point, if I make connection with one person, I'm successful. And if you're connecting with one person, and that might turn into a sale, and that is perfect. Just like that, give yourself small wins that you could measure, so that you make collective progress in your business, collective progress in your career. And if you're a professional working on your job, what can I do? What is one result that I could accomplish today? And even if like the world is totally confused and the bosses don't appreciate you, or colleagues are difficult and nobody's working, you could still go to your work and say, you know what, I'm going to do 1 to 3 specific results that I'm going to accomplish today, and I'm going to accomplish that, and I'm going to make it easy for me to accomplish my basic goals, and then I'm going to overdo it. I'm going to do it beyond what is expected. And when you consistently do that every time, this is important thing. It's not about winning making big scores. It's about perceiving what you did in your head. Are you feeling successful? That's a different thing, right? Than being successful. Some people, like, you might be very successful compared to a kid in Somalia. Right? But at the same time, you might not be feeling successful. Why? Because your conditions, the conditional mind's condition for you to successful, it's not, you haven't quite reached the level that you wanted. Why? Because you don't have a clear definition. We don't have a clear definition, step by step. These are the 3 steps that I could do in order for us to be successful, and make it very easy for you to jump, so that you feel successful in advance. So when you solve your problems, you're always solving problems as a successful person, not a failed person. Does that make sense? Yeah, Teresa, what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, you're exactly what you're saying, but the key is that what you're saying is setting yourself up to win every day. And setting yourself up to win is by doing something, if it's in your business, whatever it is for you, if it's going to the gym, whatever it is, setting yourself up to win every day. But it's not taking a big chunk of something and trying to make that happen. Like, as I said, making 15, 20 calls, that's fantastic if you do that. But setting yourself up to win by chunking it down to, like, okay, I'm going to make 5 calls today. I'm going to make 1 really great connection. And then when that happens, and it's got to be something that you're not going to fail at. You can make it happen. So, and anything beyond that is just bonus. And what that does, if you do, just imagine every day, if you set it up where you have your win means, if I have 1 serious connection, that's a win for me. And if you did that 5 days, that's 5 real powerful wins. Not only that, it's building your courage. It's building your confidence in you, because you're stacking that small win every day, which gets bigger. And what we want to be present to, is you don't have to have a super big win that day to feel successful. It's the small ones over time that build into the snowball that become the bigger. So it's about, find what is something I can win at today in my business or in my life, where I know I can't fail. I will make it happen, so that you can keep stacking that day after day. Just one more thing to add to that, Rubel, and that is, around the whole area of belief in believing that you're a successful person, and that's of course a whole other topic, but it starts out first with, you've got to win in order, like, stack these wins and not set yourself up to fail, but set yourself up so that each day you've got something that you can celebrate. And celebrating that win is important as well, because when you celebrate it, because we normally don't celebrate ourselves, but when you do celebrate your wins and really feel that energy, then again, stacking that win will keep adding to how you feel, your confidence, and the momentum to keep building.
Yeah. And at this point, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, we were going to talk about how successful people solve their problem.
Okay.
But why are we talking about success all this time? Because that's the piece that is missing. That's what we miss. We are conditioned to, we are all born to be successful, but we are conditioned to fail. And how are we conditioned to fail? Through our thoughts and through our beliefs. We think that we are a failure. No matter how successful you are, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much external, internal accomplishments you have, most people are not allowing themselves to feel successful. And that's where it all starts. That's where you are able to look back into your life. Like the simple test is this. You look back into your life in the last key, like probably 3 or 5 important moments in your life. When you look back, what do you see? Do you see major victories or major failures? If you see major failures, then you're focusing on past failures. And if you're focusing on past failures, when you're trying to solve a problem, you're creating a destiny to fail. Because you saw that, okay, I failed in 2000, I failed in 2007, I failed in 2015, I'm going to fail in 2023. That is the direction that we are setting ourselves to. Versus if you are able to look back into your life and you could see, I was successful in 2001, even if it's a tiny one. I was successful in 2008 or 2011, and then I was successful in 2014. Then I was successful in 2018 or whatever. Then all of a sudden you're setting a direction in your destiny is in a direction of success. And in order for us to create that destiny, it sounds completely counterinstinctive. It's not. Instinct is like, oh no, I failed. If I hold myself hostage and say that I'm a failure, I would do more. That is hostile negotiation. You don't need to do that to yourself anymore. You could actually let go. And I will tell you, we'll share with you in a second as to those who are asking here, what if I try to let go of these conditions and if I don't work anymore? We'll talk about that in a second. But before that, make it easy for you to win and make it easy for you to experience winning, so that when you look at your past and when you look at your future, the movie that you're seeing, the timeline that you're seeing of your life, whether it is a romantic movie or an action movie, whatever movie it is, when you look at your movie of your life, you would see a chain reaction of success if you're allowing yourself to feel that. And does it matter how much money you make, how good of a relationship you have, no matter what accomplishment you have, if you're not allowing yourself to feel that, then the movie is going to be a sad movie. And we could change it right now by looking back into the stories of our life, the beliefs of our life, the journey of our life, and say, oh, I want there, I want here, and look for those gems that are serving you, that are helping you to go forward, rather than focusing on backward and get agonized by it. Okay, so that's there. And the question here, Teresa, we'll start with you, and then I would answer this question too. What if we get rid of these standards and make it easy for us to win, and then we don't know nothing? Is that a possibility? Do you understand the question?
So if we get rid of the standards.
So, for example, somebody saying, oh no, I wanted to win an Oscar. Now you're telling me if I get like a small victory, all of a sudden I'm going to allow myself to feel successful. And because of that, would I even take action towards getting an Oscar?
Okay. Well, first thing is that if we're going to use winning an Oscar, that's a funny example. Yeah. It's funny because I purchased a plastic Oscar for my nephew.
Oh, you have an Oscar for your own. So this is what you.
Not my own, no.
No, you're gifting people Oscar.
That's a gift. It was just a gift because he did some little performance, and it's amazing.
Send me an Oscar too, please.
Oscar.
If you're sending Oscar to people, send me one Oscar too, please.
I'll give you the Oscar next time. I think I'll still have it. Maybe I can get it before we leave here. Anyhow, but what you're saying here is the stacking of this. What I was saying, stacking to win, setting yourself up to win every day is just so you can build. First of all, build confidence within yourself that you're not a loser, that you're going to win, right? You're going to win. That's basically stacking, because you can build momentum and start taking on bigger things, but it's that initial space of just winning if you feel like you're never winning. So that's one thing there. If you've got something, a big vision of something, couple things outside of just setting yourself up to win every day is you've got to believe that you can actually win that. And that's a belief system. And by winning every day, you're actually stacking that ability to believe in yourself. That's why these little wins help. But it's really believing in yourself, and also having a clear, concise vision of, you're going for the Oscar. Okay, well, what's it going to take to get to the Oscar? Who do I need to be to get to the Oscar? What do I have to follow each day? What are my habits that I need to take on each day to be there? What is my plan? Like, there's so much more to moving forward towards that. But those little wins each day, regardless, are stacking who you are, because you're setting yourself up as a winner, and you're setting yourself up for success. And that doesn't matter how small it is, it stacks over time. And I'll tell you, if you keep stacking, anything will build over time, be it something good or something not so good that you're doing.
Yeah. So exactly. So that is exactly the point, guys. That is a point. So for us to win in life, if we want to move to the next level, what we need to do is we need small wins. What we need is small wins, because when your mind thinks about it, there is no size difference between big wins and small wins. Because I dealt with people who have major victories in their life, but they are still not fulfilled. They feel like, oh my gosh, such a loser, I mean, that's what they think about themselves. Now I have to convince them that, hey, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, you have major accomplishment. And then I constantly remind them, you have done all these things. And all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, maybe, yeah. But so it doesn't matter the size of the victory. If you want to climb Mount Everest, climb a small hill next to your house first. Mm-hmm. That's what Teresa is saying. And just by climbing a small hill next to your house, you're not going to feel like, oh my gosh, I will not be able to climb Mount Everest anymore. A mountain, then a bigger mountain, then Himalayas, and then you go for Everest. And that's where you stack your victory. That's how you move towards the direction that you want to move toward, right? So that's how you get where you want to get. So it's not by holding yourself hostage and say, you know what, I want to climb Everest. Let me start climbing, and then 10 feet later, you're like, I don't have water. Okay, you're not prepared. But when you're climbing the hill, you could figure out, okay, I need this much water. I need to lose weight, and I need to have strength. I should be able to walk. I need to have something to walk on. I don't know. I'm not a mountain climber, but you get the idea. I need to figure out a way to, I don't know, whatever other things you do for mountain climbing. But in order for you to do that, you need to do mini victories one at a time in your imagination, in your physical world. Not just imagination, not just physical world, both. In your imagination and in physical world, you need to imagine that you're climbing a small hill. And then you need to go and climb a hill. And then you imagine that you're climbing a bigger hill. And then you need to go ahead and do it. And then you repeat that cycle. And then it reaches a point where you'll be like, oh, I could climb Everest. It's fine. Because now I have all the tools that I need to succeed and grow to the next level. And once you reach that point, then no matter what problems that shows up, you look back into your life, you have a lot of reference point. Let me explain the term reference point. So imagine Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is one of the he's the fastest man in the whole world. So when he looks back into his life, he could probably see that, oh, I had this 2008 Beijing or where Beijing Olympics or wherever the Olympics was in 2008. And then he got 100-meter first, and he's fastest man in the world. And there is another reference. I ran this place in the US, and then I was like first there, and then another place. Now you have so many references. That references is going to be a tool when you look at something, a problem, and you want to solve. You have a lot of references from the past, 2008, 2015, 2018, 2017, 2020, all of a sudden, and all the experiences that we got from this experience called coronavirus in the 2020, we collect all of them together, and then when we leap forward, we could use it as a tool to solve our problem. So how successful people solve their problem is, one, by looking at a past success. So this way they are looking at it from a powerful standpoint, a victory standpoint, not a victim standpoint. So they look at it as a victor. And the second thing is they try to get the intelligence of the problem, and find out like what could I learn from it? How could I make sure that this doesn't happen again? So that you tap the intelligence of the problem. Then you don't focus on the problem anymore. Then you start focusing on the solution, and then you give energy to solution. How can I solve this? What is the best solution for this? And you keep asking questions that leads us towards the next step. So that's how you can be successful today. You don't need to do anything right now. Like today, at this moment, you can decide to be successful, and that success can be used as a tool to solve any problems that are coming your way. Teresa.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great. That's great, Rupal. So just adding on that, for success, I think that solving problems, and it's just getting clear on what is the problem, and then looking at, you can chunk it down, and there's a 5-step system of using even the why question. Like if you have a problem, let's just say your customer, I'll just do business here. Let's just say your client decides they don't want an order that you sent to them. And so using the 5-step system, then you can basically ask, well, why was that? And you check in, well, because the client felt it arrived too late and they didn't need it. Okay, well, so why did that happen? Because the printer didn't work that needed to print something to get that product to the client on time. And why didn't the printer work? And you start stepping down to check into why there's that problem until you come to a space where you see the actual problem is that you need to get a new printer. Let's just say it was that at the end of it all. But it's looking up, get a clear, concise clarity on the problem. What is the problem? And then you can step back by asking, well, why did that show up, and go down until you figure out, well, what you need to do. How do you resolve this at the end? And it can just bring some clarity in that as well. So that's just one way of doing it, one system.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay. There is a question here. Do you believe in heaven? I know your answer. Anyway, ask her about the...
Believe in heaven? Is that what you said?
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to save that question. I don't know who it is, by the way. It might be somebody who already know, because in the software that we are using, it doesn't show until you register as a user in StreamYard. So sorry, I don't know. Anyway, ask her about the... Okay. Anyway, so that's good. Okay. So awesome, guys. Thank you so much for the question. Thank you for the engagement. That's our time. So I hope I inspired you, Teresa, and I inspired you to feel successful, because this moment in our life is a very unique moment in our life. And if no matter where you are, whether you're making money, not making money, whether you're making a lot of money, or whether you are in a great relationship or a horrible relationship, whether you feel that you're healthy, not healthy, wherever you are, imagine that you already climbed some hills, and then allow yourself to feel this excitement called success, rather than beating yourself with shame and guilt and envy and everything else. Just allow yourself to feel successful one time and test it. And then if you like it, if you feel that experience, go for it and do it for a week. And if you are liking it, go for it and do it for a month. And after 1 month, if you feel like, you know what, you could be successful and you feel successful, allow yourself to feel successful for the rest of your life without any conditions. And use that as the leverage for you to solve problems. Go back into your life, and when you look back into your life, you only see successful. You only see success. You only see magnificence, because when whoever created you, whoever created you, the creator, when he or she created you, in that creation, the beauty of that creation was that for you to be successful, because you are one of those sperms who made it from the billions and trillions of sperms that try to come to this world, right? You became that life, and just because you are this life, you are successful. And this is not just like random philosophy or spiritual or or any other type of philosophy. It's a reality. This is how people become really successful. So that's the end of our show. That's our time, guys. Every week we do this Monday at 3:15 Eastern. And I look
One
forward
last thing, Rubel, and that's just one last thing I'd add is that to celebrate your successes. So each day, like celebrate, find one thing you can celebrate about yourself that you can feel good about, and stack the celebrations, because again, that just builds your confidence in you. And we normally don't celebrate ourselves, but it's so important to find, like every day, find something about you, a success about you, something you're proud of that you can celebrate, and stack those.
Absolutely, and use it as a tool to move forward. Every day, celebrate your walking through the street as if it's a hill, and then you climb a hill and celebrate that, and another hill and celebrate that, until you feel like, you know what, you could do the Mount Everest. And once you reach the top of it, give us a call and let us know that you did this. All right, guys. Thank you, Teresa. That was amazing. All right, guys. Have an amazing time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
Thank you.